Yeah.
Yeah, really well. That was good.
You're so lucky you don't have to do this.
Yeah, no.
And you?
What's your plan?
Sorry.
Who's your sixth?
Otherwise, we'll give
How come you didn't feel?
I'm just going to go.
You live in Surrey. I can feel it. Which is on the give you can link to it, so it's not.
Are you reading school? Not reading. Who's reading? Oh, Ruth, don't forget to stand up for netball.
What everybody else do, read it in the foyer, please. You guys go.
Oh, has that started? Oh, I just ran in front of the camera.
Oh, we got one now. Sorry.
It's not being shared.
Guys, get on the front court, please. Legs on that side. Rock up on my minority sports on this side. Facing the whole thing.
I should have one of those. No, I know what.
Yeah, this is experiments. There's a comment on each post on the members page, like even for birthdays and all that, just spamming.
Are you doing?
Yeah.
Or is it already set up? We just need to tell them to do this. Other boys can help you do this? They've got assistant last. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, go. No.
You know that was just not
Have you seen Fightina?
No.
So it's all done.
Yes, she's teaching.
Yeah, just put it on.
Over here will be, hang on, 5, 1, 2, 3. Try the computer room. It's like it's so So if I hang on, if I just put 1, which is line 4, 5, 1, 2, line 2, supposed to be in room 24.
I'm 24.
Yeah. If it's not, it will be 9. Room 9. Yeah.
What? During Q5.
I'm going to go live in 5 minutes, so just be aware. If you could just sort of be here for a while, just make sure people are aware that it's going to be broadcast now. So
Should I? Is there a
I
script?
don't trust the scheduling tool.
Is there a script?
Top secret, my fine feathered friend. Shows you the order. Okay, so do your best in that. Now, there is another part of the script that's only Mrs. Harris has. It's
That's
after the
special.
awards at the end. But this is enough. You better work out. Okay.
Surely if you do a good enough job doing this now, it'll be
What's it called?
the senior prize giving.
Alright guys, it's going to go live soon. Well, it's live now, but I'm just going to share that
Are we
link.
singing? I thought we were
No,
singing.
we're not. I just
Basically,
I have to submit it.
you can sit here and you just watch it. And look, just sort of adjust it. Just get this link. Again. Cool. So that's going to go out. So what we can do is you can start seeing soon how many people are viewing it. Okay? I'm going to be in the hub because I'm going to be copying and pasting parts of the script. Katie Monroe, when she comes up, but there's like a 15-second delay, right?
Yeah, so you have to make
Yeah, well, I'm going to post it as soon as I see her on the video. That's why I'm not going to be in here looking at it live because it's too confusing looking at this.
Yeah. It'll
So,
be the audio and stuff as well.
yeah, so I'm just going to go in there, just listen to the audio there, live, delayed.
Yep.
So it's pretty, you can see, I guess the other thing, like if the legs should start to go down, they shouldn't,
Yeah.
but just make sure it's square. You can see the vertical lines are pretty good on the side there.
Yeah.
It's about as square as you're going to get. I mean, you can see here, this is the view we want because
Yeah.
you can see kids walking across, the speaker, shaking hands, getting their trophy, and then they'll probably stand around here.
Yeah.
For everyone to clap.
Yep.
Okay. I guess if you need to, you can. I don't think there'll be anything else other than.
Yep.
You just sort of keep an eye on things.
Yep.
And come and grab me if there's any issues. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Like it just stops streaming or something.
It's your school number.
Fletcher, you can just see your little head. You can just see your head poking out in the corner behind the chairs.
documents, please stand. Please be seated. Welcome to the Heritage Plains College 2021 Sports Prize Awards. My name is Emma Gordon and I'm the remaining sports leader for 2021. The Sports Awards Assembly is dedicated to recognising the commitment and the incredible efforts that many of the team and individuals have shown on the sports fields. Our sporting achievements would not be possible without the support from parents, whānau, and the wider community. We thank you for this. We would also like to take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to all of the coaches, managers, referees, teaching staff, and the committee members of all sporting codes. Without your ongoing commitment, our students would not have had the opportunity to excel in their chosen sport. I would like to invite Mrs. Harris to start the proceedings.
Kia ora koutou, and thank you, Emma, and welcome to everyone to our annual Sports Prize giving. With me on stage is Mr. Andrew Gordon, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. Scott Russell, our Business Manager, who will be presenting awards today. To students, parents and whānau watching the live stream from home or your office, thank you for joining us. Under COVID restrictions, today is not quite the formal event that we're used to, but it is what it is, and we felt it important to acknowledge our students' achievements regardless. To students, whether you are here in person or joining us by video link, congratulations on the awards that you will receive today. Now, some time back, I received a message from a second-hand shop in Christchurch asking me if I was interested in bringing back a miniature cup. It dates back to 1928 and was given to a Team Mackay for winning the Hauraki Plains doubles tennis champs. It's actually that size. So I wondered about the story behind the cup. Who was Team Mackay and what was he like as a school kid? How did he get into playing tennis? Did he from time to time remember that match that earned him the cup? Was it a tough game? Who was his doubles partner? And how did the cup end up 91 years later in a second-hand shop in Christchurch? Now, as you can see, it is just a tiny little cup, but it kind of reminded me of some big lessons for us about sport. That it is not so much about the medals, but the memories, and not so much about finding your form as the friendships you make, and not so much about the cups, but as the character you are becoming. Things like that championship, won or lost on the bounce of a ball, the sudden ending to a season ruined by COVID, the 4th place at Māori after all that training, the referee decision that cost you the game, the feeling after winning a game that you gave your all to and you deserved the win, the struggle to be self-disciplined in training but you turned up anyway, the points you scored and the ones you should have, the struggle to be gracious in defeat and humble with the win. Now, I have no doubt that Team Mackay learned all of that on his way to his tennis double final. That is sport, and regardless of the challenges, why it will continue to be a valuable part of the HPC school experience. So with those few words, we hope you enjoy this afternoon's prize giving, and I will now hand over to Irene to begin the reading of awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris. We will now proceed to give our elite sports students the recognition that they have earned, and we ask that you please hold your applause until the end of each group. I would like to invite Mr. Andrew Gordon to come help present the following awards. Could the Group 1 athletes please come forward? This year we had a large team of athletes who represented our school and competed at the Thames Valley Athletics Championship in March this year. Our 12 athletes then went on to compete at the Waikato Bay of Plenty and North Island Secondary Schools Athletics Championships. Kaylee Monrad, take your time, Kaylee. Kaylee receives the Still Cup for Junior Girl Track Champion and the HPC Trophy for Junior Girl Sprint Champion. At the Thames Valley Champs, Kaylee was part of the winning 4x100 metre Junior Girls Relay team and placed first in both the Junior Girls Long Jump and 200 metres. Jamie Kennedy. Jamie receives the Kelly Cup for Junior Boy Track Champion. Emily Logan and Brooke Taggart. Emily and Brooke jointly received the Allen Cup for Intermediate Girl Track Champion. Jess Slater Bosley. Jess receives the HPC Trophy for Intermediate Girl Sprint Champion and at the Thames Valley Champs was part of the winning 4x100 metre Intermediate Girls Relay team. Zach Conroy. Zach receives the Edwards Cup for Intermediate Boy Track Champion. Grayson Pratt. Grayson receives the Roger Steffens Cup for Intermediate Boy Sprint Champion. Brooke Douglas. Brooke receives the Senior Girl Track Champion Cup and the Senior Girls Field Champion Cup. Fevin Harris. Fevin receives the Summers Family Trophy for Senior Girls Sprint Champion and at the Thames Valley Champs is part of the winning 4x100 metre Senior Girls Relay team. Hamish Hart. Hamish receives the Surgeon Orr Cup for Senior Boys Track Champion. Well done to these athletes. Could the Group 2 athletes please come forward? Josephine Jolly. Josephine receives the Jean Maxson Trophy for Junior Girls Field Champion. Rohan Landy. Rohan jointly receives the Charlie Maxson Memorial Trophy for Junior Boy Field Champion and at the Thames Valley Champs, Rohan placed first in the Junior Boys Javelin. Sophie Peary. Sophie receives the J.W. Allen Cup for Intermediate Girls Field Champion. Seth Pascoe. Seth receives the Intermediate Boy Field Champion Cup. Ethan Fanau and Sean White. Ethan and Sean jointly receive the Senior Boys Field Champion Cup. Leah Foster, Katie Mitchell, and Zara Siddons. At the Thames Valley Champs, Leah, Katie, and Zara were part of the winning 4x100 metre Junior Girls Relay team. Jack Davis, Luke Cryer, and Jake Tahuya. At the Thames Valley Champs, Jack, Luke, and Jake were part of the winning 4x100 metres Junior Boys Relay team. Well done to these athletes. Could the Group 3 athletes please come forward? Eden, Trina, Anya Valentine, and Eleanor Clarkin. At the Thames Valley Champs, Eden, Anya, and Eleanor were part of the winning 4x100 metre Intermediate Girls Relay team. Eleanor also placed first in the Intermediate Girls 200 metres. Imogen Veering, KJ Harrison, and Brooke Barker. At the Thames Valley Champs, Imogen, KJ, and Brooke were part of the winning 4x100 metres Senior Girls Relay team. Jason Collins. At the Thames Valley Champs, Jason placed first in the Intermediate Boys Javelin. Joseph Gowdy. Joseph receives the Mark Jameson Trophy for Senior Boys Sprint Champion. He was also selected for the Waikato Bay of Plenty Secondary Schools Athletics team and competed at the North Island Secondary Schools Athletics Champs. Alan Barrable. At the Thames Valley Champs, Alan placed first in the Junior Boys 300 metres. Alan was also selected for the Waikato Bay of Plenty Secondary Schools Athletics team and he competed at the North Island Secondary Schools Athletics Champs. Ethan Watts. Take your time, Ethan. Ethan receives the HPC Trophy for Junior Boys Sprint Champion and jointly receives the Charlie Mapson Memorial Trophy for Junior Boy Field Champion. At the Thames Valley Champs, Ethan was part of the winning 4x100 metres Junior Boys relay team and placed first in the Junior Boys triple jump. Ethan was also selected for the Waikato Bay of Plenty Secondary Schools Athletics team and competed at the North Island Secondary Schools Athletics Champs. Well done to all these athletes. Could the badminton players please come forward? Brandon Fernandez, Ashley Thompson, Chris Jost, and Emily Logan. Brandon receives the HPC Cups for Junior Boys Singles Champion, Junior Boys Doubles Champions, and Junior Mixed Doubles Champions. Ashley receives the HPC Cups for Junior Girls Singles Champion, Junior Girls Doubles Champion, and Junior Mixed Doubles Champions. Chris receives the HPC Cup for Junior Boys Doubles Champions. Emily receives the HPC Cup for Junior Girls Doubles Champions. Ryan Courtney. Ryan receives the Faulkner Cup for Boys Open Singles Champion. Sophie Pepper and Rebecca Adams. Sophie receives the Faulkner Cup for Girls Open Singles Champion. Sophie and Rebecca receives the Davidson Cup for Open Girls Doubles Champion. Nicholas Hutt and Cooper Green. Nicholas and Cooper received the Reed Cup for Boys Open Doubles Champions, and at the Thames Valley Champs, they placed first as Senior Boys Doubles Champions. Ellie Moore, Gemma Sloan, Patrick List, and Mitchell Williams. At the Thames Valley Teams Champs, Ellie, Gemma, Patrick, and Mitchell placed first at Thames Valley Teams Champions in the senior competition. Mitchell also placed first as Senior Boys Singles Champion at the Thames Valley Champs. Well done to the badminton players. Could the basketball group 1 please come forward? Ari Jolly. Ari receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Most Improved Junior Girl. Abby Wright. Abby receives the Ikonoto Whanau Trophy for Most Outstanding Junior Girls Basketball Player and is also awarded Junior Girls Basketball Players Player. Lincoln Vitosevich and Kyan Featon. Lincoln and Kyan jointly receive certificates for Most Improved Junior Boy B Team. Ryan Tagamoa and Xavier Williams-Muir. Ryan and Xavier jointly receive a certificate for Most Outstanding Junior Boy B Team. Harry McCarty. Harry receives a certificate for Players Player Junior Boys B Team. Ryan Curry. Ryan receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Most Improved Junior Boy. Hadley Marshall. Hadley is awarded Junior Boys Basketball Players Player. Noah Williams. Noah receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Most Outstanding Junior Boy. Noah was also selected for the New Zealand Under-15 Regional Selection Basketball Camp. Jonathan Brewster and Paul Tansey. Jonathan and Paul jointly receive the Hauraki Plains Cup for Most Improved Senior Boy. Raiden Veal. Raiden receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Best Defensive Player Senior Boys. Devin Vitosevich and Rocky Turuti. Devin receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Most Outstanding Senior Boy. Devin and Rocky jointly receive the HPC Basketball Trophy for Contribution to Basketball Senior Boy. Rocky receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Best Offensive Player Senior Boy. Well done to the basketball players in this group. Could the senior girls basketball team please come forward? The senior girls basketball team placed second in the Premier Reserve grade of the Waikato Secondary School's girls basketball competition. The team members are Tiari Valentine, Charlie Forsyth, T.Y. Howie Ward, Libby Hughes, Macy Jenkins, Brooke McTaggart, Abby Wright, Molly Burge. Molly receives the Hodaki Plains Basketball Cup for Most Improved Senior Girl. Brooke Barker. Brooke receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for contribution to basketball senior girl. Molly Maitland. Molly receives the HPC Basketball Trophy for Best Defensive Player Senior Girls. Anya Valentine. Anya receives the HPC Basketball Trophies for Most Outstanding Senior Girl and Best Defensive Player Senior Girl. Well done to the basketball players in this group. I would like to hand over to Emma to continue reading the Sports Awards.
Could the Cricket Group 1 please come forward? Jacob Cochran. Jacob receives the HPC Trophy for most wickets junior boys cricket. Fergus Ball and Jackson Smith. Fergus receives the HPC trophies for most runs junior boys cricket and best fielder junior boys cricket. Fergus and Jackson jointly receive the HPC trophy for most promising player junior boys cricket. Logan Dudunsky. Logan receives the Douglas Family Trophy for most wickets Colts boys cricket. Cruz Collins. Cruz receives the Smith Family Trophy for most promising players Colts boys cricket. Trent Ball. Trent receives the Azelby Family Trophy for most runs Colts boys cricket and the HPC Trophy for best fielder Colts boys cricket. In the Waikato Secondary Schools boys Colts competition, Trent ranked first for batting, first for fielding and second for most favoured player. Daniel Sproul. Daniel has been selected for the Waikato Valley Junior Secondary Boys Cricket Team. Melissa Barker. Melissa receives the HPC batting trophy for the most runs girls second 11 cricket. Carly Forsyth. Carly receives the HPC bowling trophy for most wickets girls second 11 cricket. Jayla Tarpany. Jayla receives the HPC fielding trophy for best fielder girls second 11 cricket. Brooklyn Nicholson. Brooklyn receives the HPC trophy for most promising player girls second 11 cricket. Well done to the cricket players in this group. Could the girls first 11 cricket team please come forward? Our first 11 girls cricket team gained second place in the Pool 1 of the Waikato Secondary Schools Girls Cricket Competition. The players are Zoe Warren, Molly Burge, Taylor Collins, Keely Edmonton, Lara Forsyth, Morgan Harris, Rachel Hill, Macy Jenkins, Emily Ryan, Sophie Scott, Brooke Douglas. Brooke receives the HPC batting trophy for the most runs girls first 11 cricket. Fevin Harris. Fevin receives the HPC bowling trophy for most wickets girls first 11 cricket. Lucy Barrier. Lucy receives the HPC fielding trophy for best fielder girls first 11 cricket. And Emily Ryan. Emily receives the Logan Taylor Trophy for most promising player girls first 11 cricket. Well done, girls. Could the boys boys cricket team gained 3rd place in Division 1 of the Waikato Secondary School Boys Cricket Competition. Players are Trent Ball, Anthony Barker, Reef Benny, William Carpenter, Ryan Courtney, Hunter Crowe, Austin Hull, Toki Rangatawa, Nahindu Wikramatanga. Nahindu receives the batting cup for most runs boys versus level cricket. Cooper Green. Cooper receives the bowling cup for most wickets boys versus level cricket. Jason Collins. Jason receives the fielding cup for best fielder boys versus level cricket. And Xavier Anderson. Xavier receives the Philip Buffett Memorial Cup for most promising player boys versus level cricket. Well done, boys. Could the cross-country group please come forward? Quinn Harris. Quinn receives the McDonald Cup for Junior Boys Champion. Holly Timmins. Holly receives the McDonald's Cup for Junior Girls Champion. Jessie Davis. Jessie receives the Cullen Cup for Intermediate Girls Champion. Hamish Hart. Hamish receives the Bradley Cup for Senior Boys Champion. Brooke McTaggart. Brooke receives the Donaldson Cup for Senior Girls Champion. Cullen, Crowe, Jamie Kennedy and Zach Conroy. Cullen, Jamie and Zach competed in the Waikato Bay of Plenty Secondary Schools Champs and gained a 2nd place in the Under-16 Boys 3-person team event. Zach receives the Intermediate Boys Cross Country Cup for Intermediate Boys Champion. Zach was also selected for the Waikato Bay of Plenty Under-16 Boys Relay Team and then placed 4th at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Cross Country Champs. Well done to the cross country group. Could the Equestrian group please come forward? Darla Povey. Darla receives the Cooper Levin Family Trophy for up-and-coming junior equestrian rider. Charlie Forsyth. Charlie is the Thames Valley Secondary School's show jumping overall individual winner, placed 2nd at both the Taupo Pony Extravaganza and the Waikato Show Jumping Championships, and placed 1st at the Woodhill Show Jumping Championships. Heather Underwood. At the North Island Mounted Games Inter-Secondary Schools Competition Open Grade, Heather placed 2nd and she placed 3rd at the New Zealand Mounted Games Peers and Teams Championships in the Under-17 team. Katie Graham. Take your time, Katie. Katie receives the O'Brien Family Trophy for leading rider. Katie gained 4 first placings at the Taupo Pony Extravaganza and at the Tai Heavy Champs she placed 2nd and 3rd at the Premier League. She was the reserve champion horse at bronze level at the Dressage New Zealand, Equestrian Pony and Young Rider Amateur Top 10 League. She placed 1st in the Thoroughbreds Equestrian Sports Dressage. She placed 3rd in Level 4 at the New Zealand Youth Dressage Festival, and she was a member of the first team in warm-up classes at the Pony Club Championships. Katie was selected for the New Zealand Intermediate Age Group team and competed at the virtual International Pony Club Dressage competition, where Team New Zealand placed 2nd in the paddy do. Well done, girls. I would like to hand over to Sophie to continue with reading the sports group.
Thank you, Emma. Could the golf group please come forward? Ryan Courtney. Ryan was selected for the Waikato combined golf team to compete at the Boys Junior Interprovincial Tournament. Eden Trainer. Eden receives the Jill Leonard Cup for Girls Golf Champion. Eden was selected for the Waikato Under-21 Girls Golf Team and placed second at the Girls Junior Interprovincial Tournament. Eden was also selected for the Waikato Mixed Golf Team for New Zealand and Interprovincial Booth Shield. Michael Ellis. Michael receives the Phil Jones Memorial Cup for the Boys Golf Championship. Michael was selected for the Waikato Under-16 Golf Team to compete at the Boys Junior Interprovincial Tournament, and he was the winner of the Briscoes Pro-Am Golf Tournament. He was also selected to compete at the North Island Under-16 and South Island Under-19 Golf Championship. Well done, golfers. Could Football Group 1 please come forward? Luke Cryer. Luke receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Improved Player, Junior Boys HPC Black. Caleb Morgan. Caleb receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Promising Player, Junior Boys HPC Black. Xander Jurgens. Xander receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Junior Boys HPC Black plays. Nathan Turlington. Nathan receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Valuable Player, Junior Boys HPC Black. Yaskreet Randawa. Yaskreet receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Improved Player, Junior Boys HPC White. Boston Murphy. Boston receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Promising Player, Junior Boys HPC White. Kyle Monroe. Kyle receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Junior Boys HPC White Player. Cody Hammond. Cody receives the HPC Boys Football Trophy for Most Valuable Player, Junior Boys HPC White. Well done to the footballers in this group. Could Football Group 2 please come forward? Isabel Courtney. Isabel receives the Pawater Social Committee Trophy for Most Improved Player, Second 11 Girls. Charlotte Foots. Charlotte receives the Pawater Social Committee Trophy for Most Promising Player, Second 11 Girls. Lola Anderson. Lola receives the Pawater Social Committee Trophies for Most Valuable Player and Players Player, Second 11 Girls. Soren Reed. Soren receives the Landcourt Farming Trophy for Most Improved Player, Second 11 Boys. Jack Dibble. Jack receives the Landcourt Farming Trophy for Most Promising Player, Second 11 Boys. Neo Carroll. Neo receives the Landcourt Farming Trophy, Second 11 Boys, Players Player. Brad Cryer. Brad receives the Landcourt Farming Trophy for Most Valuable Player, Second 11 Boys. Well done to the footballers in this team. Could Football Group 3 please come forward? Rebecca Perry. Rebecca receives the HPC Soccer Club Trophy for Most Improved Player, First 11 Girls. Rima Arslan. Rima receives the Douglas Family Trophy for Most Dedicated Player, First 11 Girls. Samantha Jennings. Samantha receives the Hicks Family Trophy for Most Promising Player, First 11 Girls, and the HPC Soccer Club Trophy for the Players Player, First 11 Girls. Brooke Douglas. Brooke receives the Lumens Family Soccer Trophy for Most Valuable Player, First 11 Girls. Anthony Barker. Anthony receives the Wolverton Cup for Most Improved Player, First 11 Boys. Charlie O'Neill. Charlie receives the SJ Body Trophy for Most Promising Player, First 11 Boys. Jake Merchant. Jake receives the Yates Family Trophy for Players Player for us 11 boys. Jared Trillington. Jared receives the Long Ride Soccer Trophy for Most Valuable Player for us 11 boys. Well done to all. Could the individual hockey award winners please come forward? Ellen Barrable. Ellen receives the Carter Family Hockey Trophy for Most Dedicated Player, Mixed Development White. Kyla Marie Stevens. Kyla Marie receives the certificate for Most Improved Player, Mixed Development White. Cullen Ruminant. Cullen receives the HPC Hockey Trophy for the Most Valuable Player, Mixed Development White. Joel Hunt. Joel receives the certificate for Most Dedicated Player in Mixed Development Black. Daniel Conroy. Daniel receives a certificate for Most Improved Player Mixed Development Black. Zach Conroy. Zach receives the HPC Hockey Trophy for Most Valuable Player Mixed Development Black. Vanessa Martin. Vanessa receives a certificate for the Most Dedicated Player Second Girls 11. Lily Carter. Lily receives the Stilly Family Hockey Trophy for Most Promising Player, Second Girls 11. Trinity Grover. Trinity receives the HPC Hockey Trophy for the Most Valuable Player, Girls Second 11. Ethan Claridge. Ethan receives the IH Hayward Cup for Most Improved B Player, Boys Second 11. Joshua Tangamoa. Joshua receives a certificate for the Most Promising B Player, Boys Second 11. Marcus Bennett. Marcus receives the HPC Hockey Trophy for Most Valuable Boys Player, Second 11. Well done to all the hockey players in this event. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. I now hand over to Alex to continue with the awards.
Thank you, Sophie. I would now like to invite Mr. Russell to help out with the next awards. Could the first 11 boys hockey team please come forward? Our first 11 boys hockey team competed in the Waikato Secondary Schools boys hockey competition under 18B grade and placed second at the end of the season. The team consisted of Xavier Anderson, Trent Ball, Owen Dovey, Brody Ellis, Quinn Harris, Thomas Johnston Oldham, Heath Johnston, Jesse Mickelson, Mason Miller, Logan Winsberg, Danny Sayer. Danny also receives the Gilbert Pryor Memorial Trophy for Fair Play, Boys vs. 11. Hamish Bean. Hamish also receives the IMD Clark Trophy for the Most Improved Player, Boys vs. 11. Austin Jameson. Austin also receives the Chenworth Trophy for the Most Consistent Boys Player vs. 11. Jackson Smith. Jackson also receives the HPC Hockey Trophy for the Most Promising Player, Boys vs. 11. Mitchell Williams. Mitchell also receives the Courtney Trophy for the Most Outstanding Boys Player vs. 11. Joshua. Well done, boys. Could the first 11 girls hockey team please come forward? Our first 11 girls hockey team competed in the Waikato Secondary Schools Girls Hockey Competition under 18 B grade and was placed first at the end of the season. The team consisted of Chloe Aitchison, Emma Charteris, Lily Coates, Morgan Harris, Alice Hill, Rachel Hill, Emily Logan, Alice Payton, Brian Potter, Darla Povey, Narissa Siddons, Zara Siddons, Alicia Charteris. Alicia also receives the Austin Memorial Trophy for the most dedicated player for Second Girls. Sophie Scott. Sophie also receives the I&M Campbell Cup for the Coaches Cup First 11 Girls. KJ Harrison. KJ also receives the Hockey Coaches Cup for the Best Team Effort Player First 11 Girls. Melissa Barker. Melissa also receives the Fisher Girls Trophy for the Most Promising First 11 Girls Player. Fevin Harris. Fevin also receives the Yvonne Peters Memorial Cup for the Most Outstanding Player First 11 Girls. Well done, girls. Could the motocross team, Group 1, please come forward? The motocross team gained second place at the Taupo Secondary Schools National Championships and were the winners of the New Zealand King of the School Secondary School Series. Dylan Adams, Madison Allen, Jacob Bailey, William Brewster, Ashton Pryor, Tyler Cooksley, Ethan Harrison, Zion Jolly, Blake Keeley, Damon Pearson, Marshall Peterson, Harrison Reichenbach, Ashton Woolworth, Connor Woolworth, Lincoln Woodard, Troy Whittington-Glaser, and Hunter Wilson. Well done to all in this group. Good motocross group 2, please come forward. Jack Anderson. Jack placed third in the novice class at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Motocross Champs. Ryan Cole. Ryan placed second in the novice class at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Motocross Champs. Joshua Stoner. Joshua receives the HPC Motocross Trophy for sportsmanship. Ryan Mills. Ryan receives the HPC Motocross Trophy for the most improved rider. Kyle McMillan and Connor Wolford. Kyle and Connor jointly receives the Fitzpatrick Family Trophy for the best motocross all-rounder. Connor also placed second in the novice class at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Motocross Champs. Paige Gett. Paige receives the HPC Motocross Team Trophy for the most promising female rider. Paige also placed third in the women's class at the King of the Schools Motocross Champs. Jaden Wilson. Jaden placed second in the women's class at the King of the Schools Motocross Champs. Ruben Smith. At both the New Zealand Secondary Schools Motocross Champs in Taupo and in the King of the Schools Motocross Champs, Ruben gained second placings. Gina Humphrey. Gina placed first in the women's class at the King of the Schools Motocross Champs. Connor Lehman. Connor receives the HPC Motocross Trophy for the most outstanding rider. Well done, motocross team. Could the individual Danica Webster. Danica receives a certificate for the most improved player in line weight. Zara Shute. Zara receives a certificate for the most dedicated player in line weight. Ruby McKay. Ruby receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player in line weight. Olivia Fraser. Olivia receives a certificate for the most improved player in line black. Poppy Barn. Poppy receives a certificate for the most dedicated player in line black. Rory Cause. Rory receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player in line black. Natalia Tofa. Natalia receives a certificate for the most improved player in line development. Emily Strawbridge. Emily receives a certificate for the most dedicated player in line development. Chandra Bernard. Chandra receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player for line development. Well done to all in this group. Could the individual Netball Award winners, Group 2, please come forward? Waimania Watson. Waimania receives the certificate for the most improved player in line A. Georgia Natalia. Georgia receives a certificate for the most dedicated player in line A. Precious Ormsby. Precious receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player in line A. Marty Devlin. Marty receives the HPC Netball Association Cup for the most promising player in line A. Ruby Van Hellemond. Ruby receives the Rakic Cup for the most outstanding player in line A. Hazia Kandula. Hazia receives a certificate for the most improved player 10 back. Sarah Komura. Sarah receives a certificate for the most dedicated player 10 back. Marlena Henry. Marlena receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player 10 back. Angeline O'Meara. Angeline receives the Rachel Duncan Trophy for the most improved player 10 development. Jessie Davis. Jessie receives a certificate for the most dedicated player 10 development. Tiari Valentine. Tiari receives the HPC Netball Club Shield for the most valuable player 10 development. Well done to all in this group. The awards.
Thank you, Alex. Could the individual Netball Award winners, Group 3, please come forward? Emma Morrison. Emma receives the Kay Robertson Cup for the most improved player 10A. Carly Forsyth. Carly receives a certificate for the most dedicated player 10A. Kelly Cry. Kelly receives the Hodaki Health Centre Cup for the most valuable player 10A. Jayla Tarfity. Jayla receives the Rachel Barker Cup for the most promising player 10A. Katie Pope. Katie receives the Faye Barker Cup for the most outstanding player 10A. Brooklyn Nicholson. Brooklyn receives the Central Cup for the most dedicated player 10A, Year 10 Netball player. Kayla Marie Stevens. Kayla Marie receives the certificate for the most improved player, Senior Black. Elena Beagley. Elena receives a certificate for the most dedicated player, Senior Black. Nick Swalton. Nick receives the HPC Netball Cup Shield for the most valuable player, Senior Black. Vanessa Martin. Vanessa receives a certificate for the most improved player senior white. Holly Harris. Holly receives a certificate for the most dedicated player senior white. T.Y. Howie Ward. T.Y. receives the Leonard Benz Netball Trophy for the most valuable player senior white. Paige Welsh. Paige receives a certificate for the most improved player college reserve. Lily Lockwood. Lily receives a certificate for the most dedicated player college reserve. Amy Arenas. Amy receives the Hodaki Vets Service Cup for the most valuable player college reserve. Well done to all in this group. Could the Senior Red netball team please come forward? Senior Red are the winners of the Hodaki Plains Netball Centre Reserve Grade Round 1 and are the winners of the Hodaki Plains Netball Centre Reserve Grade Championship Round. The team consisted of Molly Burge, Heather Underwood, Sophie Perry. Sophie receives a certificate for the most improved player college development. Kaylee Gibbard. Kaylee receives a certificate for the most dedicated player college development. Taylor Collins. Taylor receives the HPC Netball Shield for the most valuable player college development. Well done, college development. Could the College A netball team please come forward? College A placed third in the Section 2 of the county's Manukau Secondary Schools Premier Netball Competition. The team consisted of Lucy Barrier, Sarah Broadbent, Eleanor Clarkin, Hayley Mackay, Emma Gordon. Emma receives the Thompson Family Trophy for the most improved player College A. Lara Forsyth. Lara receives the Hancock Sanders Trophy for the Coaches Award College A. Maggie Morrison. Maggie receives the Copper Kettle Trophy for the most dedicated player College A. Rianne Brewer. Rianne receives the HPC Netball Shield for the most valuable player College A. Alex Sorensen. Alex receives the Hodaki North Golden Oldies Tray for the most outstanding player College A. Reef Benny. Reef receives the Netball Coaches Plate for his contribution to school netball. Well done to all. Could the rowing group please come forward? Kelly Craig. Kelly receives the Hollister Plate for the most improved novice girl. Matthew Simpson. Matthew receives the Murray Smith Memorial Plate for most improved novice boy. Fraser Thompson. Fraser receives the Simons Family Trophy for the most improved sculler. Emma Gordon. Emma receives the Rowing Coaches Cup for Best Sport and receives the Townshed Family Cup for Best Performing Female Sculler. Ethan Claridge and Luca Doughty. Ethan and Lucas won bronze in the under-16 boys double at the North Island Secondary School Champs. Ethan receives the Gil Webster's Memorial Trophy for most improved oarsman, and Luca receives the W.E. Hale Transport Cup for Best Performing Male Sweetboard. Maggie Morrison, Alex Sorensen, Rebecca Adams, Sarah Broadbent, and Emma Austin.
Maggie, Alex, Rebecca, Sarah and Emma the Coxswain won bronze in the under-17 girls quad at the North Island Secondary Schools Champs. Alex receives the Gil Webster Memorial Trophy for Most Improved Oarswoman. Emma receives the Elaborate Cup for Best Coxswain Girls Rowing. Well done to all these roles. I now hand over to Jared to continue with the awards.
Thank you, Morgan. Could the rugby group please come forward? Ennis receives a certificate for the Best Forward of the Year in Year 9 and 10 Rugby. Daniel Sproul. Daniel receives a certificate for Best Back of the Year in Year 9 and 10 Rugby. Chris Lawrence. Chris receives the R.E. Thompson Builders Cup for Sportsmanship, Year 9 and 10 Rugby. Jed Coulter. Jed receives the C&M Parker Cup for Most Improved Year Player, Year 9 and 10 Rugby. Ethan Watts. Ethan receives the Hauraki Plains College Rugby Trophy for Most Outstanding Player, Year 9 and 10 Rugby. Katie Pope. Katie receives the Trefowen Family Trophy for Most Dedicated Player, Girls First 15. Joanne Finau. Joanne receives the Hauraki Plains College Rugby Club Trophy for Sportsmanship, Girls First 15. Anya Ballantyne. Anya receives the McMillan Trophy for Most Improved Player, Girls First 15. Tiago Mara Thompson and Carly Forsyth. Carly and Tiago jointly received the T. O'Hedy Fox Trophy for Most Outstanding Player, Girls First 15. Carly was also the captain of the Under-18 Girls Rugby team and was awarded Thames Valley Female Player of the Year, and also awarded the Secondary Schools Girl Player of the Campaign. Aidan Craigs. Aidan receives the Challenge Real Estate Cup for Sportsmanship Boys First 15. Jason Collins. Jason receives the Natia Panel Beaters Limited Cup for the Most Improved Players, Boys First 15. Hayden Adams. Hayden receives the McDuff Family Trophy for the Most Consistent Player, Boys 15. Mason Miller. Mason receives the Young Family Cup for the Most Outstanding Defensive Player, Boys First 15. Mason Hammond. Mason receives the Shirley Family Trophy for Most Outstanding Contribution to Boys First 15 Rugby. Aidan Harrison. Aidan receives the Norman Pratt Trophy for Most Outstanding Player, Boys First 15. Well done to these rugby players. Could the shooting team please come forward? Amelia Sampson. Amelia receives the Sarah Duffy Trophy for Most Improved Girl Shooter. Luke Curtis. Luke receives the Sharrock Trophy for Most Improved Boy Shooter. Nathan Everett. Nathan receives the Prescott Trophy for Most Outstanding Boy Shooter. Asia Hull. Asia was selected for the three-person North Island Open Age Women's DCL team. Aisling Welch. Aisling receives the HPC Shooting Trophy, Club Trophy for Most Outstanding Girl Shooter. Aisling was selected for the New Zealand Ladies Oceania team and competed in the New Zealand Junior team, where she placed third in the ladies and second in the juniors. Aisling also competed at the South Island South Zone Champs, where she placed first in the ladies and second in B group. At the South Island Shooting Champs, Aisling placed first equal in juniors, first in ladies, and first in B group. Nicholas Hart. Nicholas competed at the New Zealand Trench Nationals in the under-21 age group, placing second. He is the North Island Olympic Trench under-21 champion, placing first, and he is the captain of the New Zealand under-21 Olympic Trench team. Well done to the shooting team. Could the swimming group please come forward? Holly Timmins. Holly receives the cup for Junior Girls Swimming Champion. Alan Barrable, Jaden Cutter, Ethan Harrison, and Jake Tehuya. Alan receives the cup for Junior Boys Swimming Champion. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Alan gained first place in the Junior Boys 100 metres play show. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Jaden gained first places in the Junior Boys 50 metres and 100 metres freestyle. Jaden placed third in the Junior Boys 50 metres backstroke event at the Waikato Secondary School Champs. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Alan, Jaden, Ethan, and Jake placed first in the Junior Boys 100 metres freestyle relay and first in the Junior Boys 100 metres medley relay. Lucas Dowdy, Miles Sargent, Ryan Hart, and Danny Sayer. Lucas receives the Thompson Family Cup for Intermediate Boys Swimming Champion. At Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Lucas gained first places in the Intermediate Boys 50 metres backstroke, 100 metres individual medley, and 50 metres butterfly. Miles broke one record at HPC Swimming Champs. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Miles gained first place in the Intermediate Boys 50 metres breaststroke. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Lucas, Miles, Ryan, and Danny placed first in the Intermediate Boys 100 metres medley relay. Logan Wensley. Logan receives the Fay Cup for Senior Boys Swimming Champion. Henry Stewart. At the Thames Valley Para Athletes Champs, Henry placed first in the 25 metres freestyle, backstroke, and breaststroke. Bree McCowett, Emma Gordon, Brooke Douglas, and Alicia Reed. Bree receives the College Association Cup for Senior Girls Swimming Champion, and she broke 2 records at the HPC Swimming Champs. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Bree gained first places in the Senior Girls 50 metres butterfly, 100 metres butterfly, and 100 metres individual medley. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Bree, Emma, Brooke, and Alicia placed first in the Senior Girls 100 metres medley relay. Sophie Perry. Sophie receives the D.G. Thompson Cup for Intermediate Girls Swimming Champion, and she broke 2 records at the HPC Swimming Champs. At the Thames Valley Swimming Champs, Sophie gained first places in the Intermediate Girls 100 metres individual medley, the 100 metres freestyle, and the 50 metres freestyle. At the Waikato Secondary School Swimming Champs, Sophie placed second in the Intermediate Girls 100 metres freestyle and first in both the 200 metres freestyle and the individual medley. In the Div 2 Swimming Nationals, Sophie won silver in the under 15 girls 400 metres freestyle and 100 metres freestyle, and a bronze in the 200 metres freestyle. At the AO New Zealand Age Group Swimming Champs, she won bronze in the 4x100 metres freestyle mixed event. Sophie has been selected for the Waikato Swimming Potential Squad. Well done to all. Could the touch group please come forward? Lara Forsyth. Lara receives the HPC Trophy for Most Improved Senior Touch Player. Brooke Barker. Brooke receives the HPC Trophy for Most Dedicated Senior Touch Player. Aiden Craigs. Aiden receives the HPC Trophy for Most Outstanding Boys Touch Player. Anya Valentine. Anya receives the HPC Trophy for Most Outstanding Girls Touch Player. Anya was selected for the Thames Valley Under-16 touch team, who placed silver at Junior Nationals, and she was awarded Most Improved Player. Anya was also selected for the Thames Valley Open Mixed touch team, who placed silver at the Open National Touch Champs, and she was awarded Most Valuable Player. Anya was selected for the Touch New Zealand Talent Identification. Thank you, Touch players. Could the tennis group please come forward? Caleb Reed. Caleb receives the Hall Cup for Junior Boys Single Champion. Natara Cochran. Natara receives the Olsen Cup for Junior Girls Singles Champion. Jack Anderson and Cooper Green. Jack and Cooper received the Leonard Cup for Intermediate Boys Doubles Champions. Brooke Nicholson and Carly Forsyth. Brooklyn and Carly received the Norma Adams Memorial Trophy for Intermediate Girls Doubles Champions. Anthony Barker. Anthony receives the cup for Senior Boys Singles Champion. Molly Maitland. Molly receives the AS Leonard Cup for Senior Girls Singles Champion. Alice Hill and Lily Coates. Alice and Lily received the Brown Family Cup for Senior Girls Doubles Champions. Joshua Cochran. Joshua receives the Davis Cup for Intermediate Boys Champion. Joshua is also the Waikato Secondary School's Intermediate Boys Singles Champion. Thank you, tennis players. Could the Waka Ama group please come forward? Manaya Taipedi. Manaya receives the award for Most Dedicated Boy. Stasia Tom Taipedi. Stasia receives the award for Most Dedicated Girl. Connor Bailey Tiardi. Connor receives the award for Most Improved Boy. Olera Jade Watini Joseph. Olena Jade receives the award for Most Improved Girl. Well done, Wakaama. Could the minority sporting group please come forward? We endeavour to acknowledge students who either play in a minority sport or a sport which are not available at HPC. Gymnastics. Alicia Reid. Alicia qualified for the New Zealand National Gymnastics Championships, placing second in clubs, and was selected for the Senior International Finals. International Taekwondo. Gemma Salone. At the ITKD National Tournament, Gemma won gold in speciality, bronze in patterns, and bronze in team patterns. Atahua Beckham. At the ITKD National Tournament, Atahua won silver in patterns. Cooper Green. At the ITKD National Tournament, Cooper won silver in patterns and bronze in speciality. Aidan Craigs. At the ITKD National Tournament, Aidan won gold in speciality and gold in team patterns. Caden Reed. At the ITKD National Tournament, Caden won gold in team patterns and silver in power. Kiana Tavakoli. At the ITKD National Tournament, Kiana won gold in sparring, gold in patterns, silver in pre-arranged sparring, and bronze in team patterns. Ariane Tavakoli. At the ITKD National Tournament, Ariane won silver in sparring, silver in pre-arranged sparring, and bronze in speciality. Nikita Rose Morganhan T. Atavalu. At the ITKD National Tournament, Nikita Rose won gold in speciality and silver in patterns. IRB National Surf Life Saving. bronze in the under-19 teams division at the IRB National Surf Lifesaving Champs. Surf Lifesaving, Bree McCarran. Bree has been selected for the Invitational Inter-Regional Surf Competition. She placed third in under-19 female class in the Mount Monster Endurance Competition, and she was runner-up for the Under-17 Sportswoman of the Year at the Eastern Region Award of Excellence. She was also selected for the Pinnacle Program and as a recipient of the Tanya Dalton Foundation. Motor Racing, Ryan Denise. At the Topor Motor Racing meet, Ryan was the Section 3 winner, Improved Production Class Open Age. Bailey Cruz. At the Topor Motor Racing meet, Bailey was the Section 2 winner, Improved Production Class Open Age. Lincoln Widet. Lincoln is the Super 450 New Zealand Off-Road Racing Champion. A big congratulations to all of our Minority Sport Award winners. Thank you to Mr. Russell for presenting these awards. I would like to pass over to Mrs. Harris to present the special awards.
So, as we see, we now come to the specials. So just a small group to finish off today. And we start with Merits and Blues, and I'd like to invite Mr. Gordon to present these. For specials, a team of 7 from the Sports Executive make a final call on these awards after accepting nominations from the various codes. We check records from previous years, and when needed, we seek advice from national sporting bodies. Decisions are often contentious as there are multiple codes, each with their own way of doing things, and within that, as I said, multiple perspectives. Every decision, however, is made in good faith. The special awards will be a surprise to students, so just ask if your name is called out to come confidently to the foot of the stage. This is your moment, so enjoy it. We start with Merit Awards, or Junior Awards, awarded to Years 9 to 11 students for outstanding achievement or performance in a particular code, rather like the younger form of a sporting blue. Merits are awarded only once. Currently, holding merits are Paige Welsh, Taekwondo, Ryan Denise, Motor Racing, Charlie Forsyth, Equestrian and Netball, Levi Waller, Surfing, and Ethan Claridge, Rowing. This year's Merit Awards reflect both the range and talent in Years 9 to 11, which you will have heard during the Code Awards. Could Zach Conroy, Cullen Crowe, Jamie Kennedy, Atahua Beckham, Kiana Tavakoli, Nikita Rose Morrigan Tavalu, Cooper Green, and Arian Tavakoli please come forward. Cross-country merits go to Zach Conroy, Cullen Crowe, Jamie Kennedy. With the clap, guys. Bravo. Taekwondo merits Atahua Beckham, Kiana Tavakoli, Nikita Rose, Morrigan Tavalu, Cooper Green, and Arian Tavakoli. Well done. These students please come forward. Alan Barrable, Ethan Watts, Ryan Hart, Daniel Sproul, Trent Ball, and Eden Trainer. Merits for athletics go to Alan Barrable and Ethan Watts. For surf lifesaving, Ryan Hart. For cricket, Daniel Sproul and Trent Ball. Congratulations to our second group of winners. The last group of merits: Carly Forsyth, Noel Williams, Lincoln Woodett, Bailey Cruz, Sophie Perry, Reuben Smith, Jaden Wilson, and Paige Gibb. A rugby merit to Carly Forsyth. For basketball, Noah Williams. For motor racing, Lincoln Woodett and Bailey Cruz. Swimming, Sophie Perry. And for motocross, Reuben Smith, Jaden Wilson, and Paige Gibb. Congratulations to those students. Sporting Blues. Blues are awarded for demonstrating exceptional talent and achievement in a particular sporting code at senior level. We have records dating back to 1975, so before awarding a blue, comparisons are made with previous awards to ensure comparability over time. Once a blue is awarded, that person cannot be awarded a second blue in the same code, regardless of the sporting achievement. Current blue holders are Oscar and Nicholas Hutt shooting, Brooke Douglas football, Bree McCoward, who holds a swimming blue and a service blue for surf lifesaving. Could these students please come to the stage? Reeve Benning, Arnie Valentine, Ashlyn Welsh, Alicia Reid. I won't read out all their achievements, just the highlights. So first, Reeve Benning. Reeve is awarded a service blue for netball, as well as umpiring regularly at Wednesday and Friday night league. He was the only umpire to be selected for the under-18 nationals and awarded the most valuable umpire for Thames Valley Netball. Congratulations on a service sporting blue to Reeve. Arnie Valentine, a blue for touch. Arnie was awarded Most Valuable Player in the Thames Valley Open Touch team, which won silver at Nationals. She was also selected for the New Zealand Touch Talent Identification Program. Congratulations, Arnie. Ashlyn Welsh, a blue for shooting. Ashlyn is a national title holder in ladies sport shooting and was top qualifier for the New Zealand Ladies Oceania team early this year, achieving an impressive third placing in the individual and second in the juniors. Well deserved, Ashlyn. And the last one is Alicia Reid, a blue in gymnastics. At the New Zealand Nationals Gymnastic Championships, Alicia placed 4th in the hoop and 2nd in the clubs. Well done, Alicia. Of Blues Awards. Could Michael Ellis, Katie Graham, Heather Underwood, Aisha Hong, Jenna Humphrey, and Bree McCoward come forward? Michael not here today with us, but a blue in golf. He was selected for the Waikato regional team, which competed in the New Zealand Inter-Regional Finals. He was also selected to compete at the North Island Under-16 and South Island Under-19 Championships. Well done to Michael. Katie Graham, a blue in equestrian. Katie has achieved a number of national awards for dressage and was selected for the New Zealand Intermediate Equestrian team, which competed in an international competition. She achieved 7th place in her division and a second in the team event. Well done, Katie. Heather Underwood, also for Equestrian, with a third placing at national level and a second placing in the North Island Secondary Schools Mountain Games, a well-deserved blue for Heather. Gina Humphrey, a blue in motocross. Gina placed first in the women's class at the King of the Schools Motocross Champs. Let's give Gina a clap. Aisha Hull, a blue in shooting, and in particular for her selection for the North Island Open Age Women's DTL team. Well done. Bree McCowart, a blue for surf lifesaving. Bree has had a successful year in competitive surf lifesaving and rewarded with a selection for the Invitational Interregional event that invites the elite surf sport athletes to come together to compete. She was also selected for the 3-year Pinnacle program and is a 2021 recipient of a Tania Foundation Award given to a small group of women who demonstrate leadership and committed to excellence. Congratulations, Bree, and a well-deserved third blue. We now come to a small group of final awards, and I will call these up individually. The Fair Play Award, the Philip Howden Memorial Cup. The Philip Howden Memorial Cup for Outstanding Fair Play is in recognition of a student who is respected for their leadership, service, self-discipline and attitude both on and off the field, including supporting fellow team members and encouraging younger players. He took the lead with the first 11 hockey team, especially and often when coaches were not available. He sets the example with his calming influence and brought a positive presence to practices and events. The winner of the Fair Play Award, the Philip Howden Memorial Trophy, goes to Mitchell Williams. Well done, Mitchell. Sporting achievement in a minority sport, the Tina Dicken Cup. It's always extremely difficult to make calls on sporting awards when each sport has its own particular way of doing things and numbers are so different between sports. The Tina Dicken Memorial Cup recognises a student who is achieving to the highest levels and often one of the smaller sporting codes. Outstanding sporting achievement in minority sport goes this year jointly to 2 shooters, both holding national titles, Aisling Welsh and Nicholas Hart. As you heard, Aisling was a member of the New Zealand Ladies Oceania team and Nicholas was chosen as captain of the New Zealand Under-21 Olympic trench team. Congratulations, Aisling and Nicholas. Well done, guys. The HPC Team of the Year. This award was donated by Matarangi College to mark 50 years of exchanges between our 2 schools. The Team of the Year award is based on performance as well as commitment, teammanship, fair play and discipline both on and off the field. This team stood out and for the sports executive it was an easy decision. Impressive in dress, representing HPC with pride. Willing to pay it forward in the community with raising funds for New Zealand breast cancer and each week donating a food basket to a family in need. They also were the winning team at the New Zealand Motocross Secondary School Series. A well-deserved HPC Team of the Year trophy goes to the motocross team, and I'd ask Ryan Cole to come up and accept that on behalf of the team. Well done to the whole motocross team. The award for Outstanding Leadership Contribution was donated by past sports leaders Stella Clayton Green and James McDuff, who set the criteria for the award. The criteria being for someone who takes a leadership role, leading from behind, often going under the radar. Their leadership is about influence on others through how they role model and conduct themselves, rather than from a recognised leadership position. The recipient of the Sport Leadership Award is a superb role model, knowing how to win with humility and lose with grace, and take disappointments on the chin, so to speak. The first to offer help and get things organised. Often seen helping out with the juniors. She wears a smile with sincerity and never takes offence. A cheerful and positive influence through who she is on any team she is part of. The Outstanding Leadership Contribution goes to Emma Gordon. Well done, Emma. Right, the final two. All-round sporting excellence, the A.B. O'Brien Cup. Both the range and level of performance across diverse sporting codes is considered in making this award. She represented HPC in athletics, has competed in 3 first teams for basketball, girls rugby and touch, represented Thames Valley in basketball, netball and touch, and was selected for the New Zealand Talent Identification Camp after being awarded Most Valuable Player for the Valley at the Open Mixed Touch Nationals, where the team won silver. The A.B. O'Brien Award for All-Round Sporting Excellence goes to Anya Valentine. Congratulations, Anya. Final award, Sportsperson of the Year, the Flint Cup. The Flint Cup was donated by Mr. Rick Flint and family for the first sports prize giving 60 years ago. It is given for performance in one event. The level of performance and the numbers involved in the event or code are taken into consideration. As with other awards, advice from national bodies was sought in making this decision. She represented New Zealand in an international equestrian dressage event, with teams competing from USA, Canada, Hong Kong, South Africa, Australia, and some composite international teams. She achieved a 7th placing at that event and a 2nd in the team Party Do event. The Flint Cup for Sportsperson of the Year for 2021 goes to Katie Graham. Congratulations, Katie. Thank you, Mr. Gordon, for presenting those awards, and also to Mr. Russell. Mr. Gordon, you have been a strong support of Progress in Sports in your role as chairperson of the board, and that is hugely appreciated. Thanks also go to fellow members of the Sports Exec, Mr. Ian Clark, Ms. Cindy Berridge, Mr. Martin Ash, Mrs. Denise Casey, and Mr. Dreyer for the considerable time which is given behind the scenes, including the organisation for today. To those who have given voluntary time, both on staff and in the wider community, we could not offer the range of sporting experiences without you. And lastly, a big thank you to our student leaders, to Emma and her team, who have worked hard throughout the year and for today in particular. A job well done and deserving of your own applause. Hopefully, those who've been watching from home or the office have enjoyed our prize giving, and thanks for joining us on this occasion. So that includes our Sports Awards Assembly. Could I ask students to please quietly stand as guests leave the stage? Thank you.
Please be seated. Well done, guys. You can give yourself a clap now. I think you deserve it. Just the final arrangements before you go. Please check under your seat now. Pick up all your certificates.